BodyWorx Physio. We're interviewing Jason today about his cycling adventures and asking him a few questions about some of the injuries and benefits that come along with cycling. So, tell us why you love it.
I actually only got into cycling in the last few years sort of thing because I got invited to participate in a charity ride as part of the business conference group that I'm part of. So I just completed the last 500k ride about a month ago now through Thailand. So that's the third time I've done the ride now. So I got into it as a way to give back to the community because we fundraise. We've raised over $1.7 million for kids with HIV and orphanages in Thailand now. So it was a great way for me to feel like I was giving back. But also I found it was a great way for me to stay fit and do a bit of activity with some of my friends. For me, most people who know me know that I'm not a fan of running. I really hate it and my body tends to dislike it as well. But I find riding is great for me because it doesn't hurt, I can do it heaps, I seem to be okay at it, and I feel really good while I'm doing it. So it's a great way to get out and see a bit of the country, plus be able to do a bit of sightseeing overseas and give back to kids, which I really enjoy.
So you've already mentioned some of the benefits that come along with cycling. What are a few more health benefits with it?
So I guess cycling is great from a physio perspective as well because it's great cardiovascular exercise to help improve your heart and your lungs, your general breathing fitness. But it's also great because it's low impact on your body. So even people with arthritis and issues with their knees and hips and feet can usually complete cycling to some extent. So it's a great way to get in and get your fitness when running or some of the more contact or impact sports might be a bit hard for your body to do. I guess the other thing is it's reasonably low cost, like especially nowadays you can get quite cheap bikes, even from as cheap as Kmart sort of thing. I know they have about $100 bikes, but the Step Up, which is the one I use regularly, was $500. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it, and you've got a great transportation device as well as something that can help keep you fit. So it's something that you can do all year round and it's easy on your body.
And so you've obviously done a bit of cycling yourself at the 500 kilometres recently and in a few different groups as well. What are some of the injuries that you've seen?
The injuries vary. Number one obviously is falling off. And that's a bit hard to prevent other than you have to be very mindful when you're on the road. Unfortunately in Australia, we don't have a great cycling culture. Motorists can be very aggressive compared to other countries. Even in Thailand, which has one of the world's highest road tolls, I feel much safer riding on some of those roads than with Australian drivers at times. So number one is falling off, and part of that is making sure that you feel confident when you're riding on the road. I usually keep to cycle paths, and if you're going to wear cleats, which is the ones where you click in, make sure you do that in an area off the road where you feel confident and not pressured. As far as injuries that come from exercising, the most common injuries we tend to see are knee injuries, sort of like your patellofemoral injuries where the kneecap is rubbing unevenly, or ITB friction syndrome, both related to how tight that muscle is on the outside of your leg. We did a great video just earlier with Tom needling his ITB, and he nearly screamed a few times. He could be a bit soft, but he's a runner, so. So knee injuries, the other thing we tend to see is if people don't have their bikes set up, they can get some really bad pain in through their upper back and neck just from craning themselves rather than being set in the right position. Same thing goes for the wrists. If you've got too much pressure down onto the handlebars, you can get a lot of pain through your wrists and thumb or numbness in through there. So it's really important to make sure you have the bike set up correctly.
Yeah. And so bike setup would be a top tip for injury prevention. What are some other tips?
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're going to spend money on a bike, and I really would recommend if you want to do it for fitness, spend that little bit extra. Like, as I said, I got a really great bike from one of the local bike shops, Hadley's around here, for $550. I went in, they made sure they set it up for me. They have experts in there that know how to set it up. So get your bike from a reputable dealer that can help set it up correctly for your height and what you're going to be using it for, so that you can make sure you're in the right position. Also, cycling is like any other sport. You need to make sure you warm up and cool down, and you do your stretches afterwards. So if you are having any problem areas like the knees and that, it's going to be worthwhile having a chat with one of us physios so that you can isolate what's wrong, why it's happening, and we can get on top of that before it becomes a regular problem.
And so what's the big next goal for you?
Next goal again is I'm going overseas again. So next year, in April it is next year, we're riding again in through Thailand. So I've got to fundraise a minimum of $5,000 in order to be allowed to participate. So have a look out for some great fundraising that we're doing. We'll probably have another wine and cheese night, some trivia, some raffles. We'll have lots of stuff. But that's my main goal, is I want to go over there and be more confident this year. I was really happy with my fitness levels this year. The thing that got me was the 46-degree heat we were riding in. But I'm hoping that if I can take that next stage up and get even fitter next year, that the heat won't affect me as much next year, because I want to be one of the stronger people on the ride and sort of feel better supporting people. I was already sort of doing the official physio role, but I'd like to feel fitter at the end of each day, so I can feel I can give more back to the team.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me in today, Kel.
Thank you.